This Raw review is going to come out very late, and I must apologize for that. So firstly, I didn't even know if I was going to make this review because there was really nothing to talk about on this Raw episode. There was nothing major that happened or anything too exciting that was worth talking about. I watched this episode of Raw from start to finish, and when I got to the end, I was there like, what did I even really watch? What am I even going to say? I literally had no idea what I was going to talk about for this review or what to even break down because nothing happened. Most of this episode, most of the show was just like a massive waste of time, honestly. From start to finish, most of the promos, most of the matches, most of the segments, they didn't mean much. They didn't mean anything, as a matter of fact. So a lot of the show was just absolutely a waste of time. You could have completely skipped this whole episode and missed absolutely nothing if you skipped it. This show overall, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. It was a lot of things, but good was not one of them. So that was one of the reasons why I didn't think I was gonna make this review, because I genuinely did not have anything to say about this, anything to really break down. Anyhow, though, the second reason as to why I wasn't sure I was going to make this review is because I've been so busy over these past couple of days. I haven't had a moment to record anything or even think about any video ideas. It's been hectic. It's currently 12:43 a.m. while I'm recording this video after NXT, so that should tell you a lot. I've had no time to rest or even make a video or record anything. It's been hectic, so I'm sorry this is coming out extremely late, but bear with me once again. Thank you all for your patience, by the way, and thank you for understanding and everything. But yeah, those were my two reasons why I didn't know if I was going to make this review or not. It's been hectic and I didn't have much to talk about, but I decided I owe it to you guys, I owe it to myself, I owe it to everyone to make this video, make this review, get it out the way, get it out there for anyone who wants to watch, anyone who wants to enjoy it. I owe it to all of you. I owe it to myself, like I said. So I figured I might as well make it. If I don't make a review, if I skip a review every time I don't enjoy a WWE episode, I'm never gonna make a review ever again. So that's that. Anyhow, though, let's get right into this review. Let's get right into this breakdown, and let's talk about what we saw in this episode of Raw. But before all that, though, as always, the quote of the day. Quote of the day: let your worries roll like waves. They'll crash, they'll fade, and the seas will still hum your name. When you pass through waters, I will be with you. Isaiah chapter 43, verse 2. That is your quote of the day. Now let's get right into this breakdown. Let's get right into this video. Let's get right into this review. So we started off with this episode of Raw with a Jey Uso in-ring promo, and it was Jey Uso and CM Punk cutting a promo against each other. And this was a massive waste of time. Neither one of these men really said anything too important, anything too major. All we really got from this was Jey Uso saying heat, and CM Punk saying run my music once again. And it was the funniest thing. We got two entrances from Jey Uso, we got two entrances from CM Punk. This was such a waste of time. But let's talk about what was said. Actually, let's talk about the essence of this promo segment. So we kicked off with main event Jey Uso making his big, long, extravagant entrance, and he came out and he basically started cutting a little promo saying, welcome to Monday Night Raw. Yes, you heard that right, Monday Night Raw. Welcome to Monday Night Raw. I got everybody in my ear nowadays. I got Roman in my ears, I got Jimmy in my ears, everybody's in my ears. I got everybody and they mama in my ears. But I don't give a damn what anyone thinks. I don't give a damn what anyone has to say, because it's just me, Oos, and at Saturday main event, it's going to be just me becoming champion once again. Yeet. Then he got interrupted by CM Punk before he could even say yeet. CM Punk came out telling Jey Uso 4 letters, 1 word, Punk. I'm happy for you. You're finally thinking about yourself and not about Jimmy or Roman. And he went on to tell the crowd that me and Jay are actually good friends. And I'm like, since when? Why are we even bringing this? What are you talking about? You and Jay are good friends. You've been feuding for the past couple of weeks, for the past couple of months at this point. You're talking about, so me and Jay are actually good friends. I'm like, what was even the point of bringing that up? But whatever, that's besides the point. Then CM Punk went on to tell Jey Uso that you've proven yourself. You've proven that you've got what it takes. You even eliminated your own twin last week. You even threw him out the battle royal. But how far are you willing to go, Jay? How far are you really willing to go to get this championship? And Jay responded to CM Punk. He said, let's go, Punk. I've been in deep waters before and I know how to swim. You got these people believing that you're the one to get behind, you're the one to root for, that I'm the bad guy. Guess what? Screw you, Punk. This Saturday, I'll show you who the best in the world actually is. 4 letters, 1 word, heat. And that was that. That was your opening promo segment. Like I said, both of these men came out. They didn't really say anything of substance. This didn't further the story anymore. It didn't make it any more interesting. This was just a promo for a promo. That was that. Anyhow, after this, we got onto our first match of the night, and it was Penta versus Rusev. And this was a Intercontinental Championship #1 contenders match. So winner faces Dirty Dominic Mysterio at Saturday Night Main Event. And let me just say, this #1 contenders match was so silly, and it was such a waste of time because we sat through this, and it was boring for the most part of it. But I was still like, whatever. It's a #1 contenders contenders match, I could get behind it. Somebody earning a chance at a championship, earning the opportunity. But little did I know this was going to end in no contest. It was going to end in a disqualification. I'm like, we sat through all that nonsense just for it to end in no contest and for us to not get a clear winner. That was so silly. Like 70% of this match was completely cheeks and boring, and then we ended in a no contest finish on top of that due to the El Grande Americano, Bravo and Rio interrupting and beating down Rusev and Penta. I'm like, that was so silly. I don't know who came up with this nonsense, but if you wanted it to be a triple threat match, just announce it in the first place and don't waste your time with this nonsense. This was so silly. So silly. But in the end, though, like I said, it ended in no contest with El Grande Americano, Rio, and Bravo coming out to ambush both Penta and Rusev. And then we got an announcement later on in the show that at Saturday Night Main Event, it's going to be Dirty Dominic Mysterio versus Penta versus Rusev in an Intercontinental Championship triple threat match. And that was that. After this, we went on to our second match of the night, and it was Nikki Bella versus Roxanne Perez. And let me just say, respectfully, I have absolutely nothing to say about this match. There is nothing to talk about. Okay? This was definitely a match. This was definitely a match, and that was that. There's nothing else to say about this. But surprisingly enough, though, Roxanne Perez was able to hit the pop rocks on Nikki Bella for the win, and that was that. Nikki Bella got defeated by Roxanne Perez, the same Roxanne Perez who couldn't beat anybody else in the past couple of weeks, the same Roxanne Perez who lost to Lyra Valkyria, the same Roxanne Perez who's been struggling to pick up a singles win by herself without Raquel Rodriguez. She beats and pins a Hall of Famer and Nikki Bella fair and square, and that was that. That was that. The match, though, the match was boring. The in-ring action was iffy at best. The in-ring action was, oh man, I don't know what this was. But anyhow, like I said, surprisingly enough, Roxanne Perez was able to pick up the win over Nikki Bella. And after the match, we got the basic Judgment Day sequence where Judgment Day either wins or they lose, and they go on to beat down and jump the opponent. And we got that same scene again, and Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez decided to go and jump Nikki Bella. And out of nowhere, we got La Primera, her music hit, and Stephanie Vaquer ended up coming out to the aid of Nikki Bella and defending Nikki Bella, and that was that. After this, we got a cool little backstage promo between Jimmy and Jey Uso, and this was probably my favorite promo segment of the night. And it was basically Jimmy Uso popping off on Jey Uso backstage. And let me just say, this man was fuming. Jimmy Uso was absolutely frustrated and irate. Jimmy Uso went on to tell Jey, "It's just you, huh? I heard you out there. It's just you, Uso? You don't give a damn about what I think? You don't give a damn about what I have to say? I saved you twice during that Royal Rumble last week, and you didn't even hesitate once to throw me over the top rope. You didn't even hesitate to throw me out. You knew the play. It was always supposed to come down to me versus you. Then it's every man for themselves. But no, you were only thinking about yourself, just like you always do. You know what I think? I think that if you actually believed in yourself, you wouldn't be so scared to find out what actually happens when it comes down to me versus you." And that's basically what he told Jey Uso. He said, "I don't think you believe in yourself enough because you seem scared to find out what actually happens when it comes down to me versus you. When we go toe to toe, if you believed in yourself, you would have actually kept me in the match and we would have lasted until it was me versus you." And that's basically what he told Jey Uso. So he was basically just going off and getting some stuff off his chest respectfully, understandably. And later on in the show, we got another little segment where Jimmy Uso and Jey Uso were talking again, and Jey Uso ended up manning up and apologizing to Jimmy Uso for his actions, for what he did. And he basically told Jimmy Uso that, "I got a lot on my plate right now, and I don't have any more real estate for any more problems, any more beef, any more feuds. I apologize for what I did. I don't really need to be fighting with you. I don't really need to be feuding with you. What I did was wrong. And like I said, I don't have real estate for any more problems, any more issues. So if we could just squash this, I would be completely okay with this. I know what I did wasn't good. I know it's not justified. And can we just squash this? You're my twin. I'm always going to be there for you, and I love you." And that's basically what he said. And that was basically that. And it was pretty cool. It was pretty neat. But anyhow, after this, we got on to our third match of the night, and it was Braun Breaker versus LA Knight. Yeah! And this match was just because there was no stakes. This was not a number one contenders match or anything. It was just because. It was just a match happened just because. And even though we've seen this match like a million times, this was still a pretty decent match on both men's part. LA Knight was entertaining as always, and Braun Breaker actually did his thing. I liked his explosiveness in the ring. I liked his moveset a little bit in this match. It was a decent match. Nothing crazy, but it was decent nonetheless. But anyways, though, at the end of the match, Braun Breaker absolutely speared LA Knight in half for the win, and that was that. And we did get to see a couple cool spots from both men, but nothing too crazy, like I said. And that was the match. Braun Breaker beats LA Knight, and that leads to nothing. That was for nothing. Braun Breaker doesn't have a number one contendership spot at the moment. The match just happened just because, so nothing changes. Anyways, after that, we went on to get our fourth match of the night, and it was JD McDonough versus Sheamus. And I don't say this often, maybe not even at all, but JD McDonald's actually really good in the ring. And I've never truly realized how versatile this man is. Like, he's actually very good in the ring. And watching this match versus Sheamus, I realized how talented JD actually was. Because most of the time, I'm kind of, disrespecting JD a little bit, talking about how this match sucked. This match was boring. But I was really locking in this match and watching it and like really analyzing it. And I realized how good JD actually was. This man, like I said, is versatile. Like, in the blink of an eye, this man will go from fully grounded to hitting a 450 splash out of nowhere. Like, this man is really talented. This man is really versatile. This man is one of a kind in the ring. And I'm just now realizing how talented this man truly is. Truly. And I have to clap it up for that. But anyways, though, Sheamus, as always, was very entertaining. And this match was kind of a banger, kind of a little bit of a banger. It was all right. It was decent. We got a couple cool spots from Sheamus. We got a lot of cool spots from JD. But besides that, though, the match itself, it was pretty decent. It was pretty good. A bit of a banger, but nothing insane. Nothing you're going to go back to rewatch. But anyhow, though, at the end of the match, Finn Balor ended up interfering and he hit Sheamus with a shillelagh. And surprisingly enough, JD McDonald was able to hit a off the top rope Spanish fly on Sheamus for the win. And that was that. Anyways, after this, we went on to our main event, our final match of the night. And this was probably match of the night. And the match I'm referring to is the Bayley and Lyra Valkyria versus Charlexa, aka Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss match for the tag team championships. And this match was undoubtedly match of the night. This was so entertaining, in my opinion. This was a really good match. And I really appreciated the titles being defended on a random episode of Raw on a random weekly show. That was a really cool touch, in my opinion. But besides that, though, the main aspect I really enjoyed was seeing Bayley, Alexa Bliss, and Charlotte Flair all in the same ring once again. It was a really cool moment. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it. Besides that, though, the in-ring action was also really entertaining, in my opinion. And this, like I said, was match of the night for me. And mind you, there was not much competition for match of the night contenders, so let me just say that outright. But anyways, though, this was a really nice match, especially towards the middle and the end. The match really started popping off at those points. We got to see more cool spots, more cool sequences. We got to see more intensity from both Team Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, as well as Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. But anyways, at the end of the match, we got a really cool sequence from Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss where they hit a Twisted Bliss double natural selection sequence on Bayley and Lyra Valkyria for the win to retain their tag team championships. And that was that. I really liked the sequence. It looked really cool. I'm like, that was chef's kiss, okay? But anyhow, though, after the match, everybody ended up getting ambushed and attacked by the Kabuki Warriors. And the Kabuki Warriors basically made it clear that they're up next for the tag team championships and they want a match. They want their opportunity and they're next in line. That was that. And that's how your show ended. And that was your whole show. And overall, I'd have to rate this week's episode of Raw a solid 4 out of 10. Like I said, most of it was a waste of time. Most of it was completely skippable. Most of it was just pointless. Most of it didn't lead to anything. It didn't advance anything. This show, I don't know. A solid 4 out of 10. And there's really not much to say about it. But anyhow, though, that was your breakdown, your review of this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for hearing me out. And thank you for being here. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. Like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to. And like, comment, and subscribe if you choose to. As always, it's been a pleasure. I'm out.